Welcome to Writing the Thing, the podcast in which I, Shaun Kitchener, hi, how's it going, chat to writers about writing their things. Today, I've got a proper multi-hyphenate, an actor, writer, producer, people's princess, noted Hollywood skier, etc., who has brought a lot of pop culture-based joy to a lot of people. It's the iconic Linus Karp. If you are even slightly queer and or online, chances are you will know Linus Karp. He's created or co-created a string of incredible shows, which all started with How to Live a Jellicle Life, a parody of and homage to the infamous Hollywood film adaptation of Cats. That was followed by Diana, the Untold and Untrue Story, in which he plays our Di and has been touring all over the place for a few years now. There's also been Gwyneth Goes Skiing, in which he and his co-creator and co-star and now husband, Joseph Martin, reenacted the iconic Gwyneth Paltrow ski trial. Last year, they both turned their attention to incredible made-for-TV Christmas films with The Fit Prince, or to give it its full name, The Fit Prince, open brackets, who gets switched on the square in the Frosty Castle the night before, open brackets, insert public holiday here, close brackets, close brackets. And this year, he's doing something a bit different. His latest show is called Linus Karp Was Hit with an Umbrella. It's based on the true story of when he was subjected to a sort of physical homophobic attack in London just before heading to the Fringe a couple of years ago. And it's such like a brilliant story out of a horrible moment, because Joseph actually chased the guy down and held him until help arrived. There was never any kind of trial, but this new show explores what that might have looked like, and all with Linus's trademark humour and sense of play and mischief and all that good stuff. As I speak, the show is weeks away from its first outing at London's Park Theatre before it then goes to Edinburgh. And Linus very kindly jumped on a Zoom call with me to chat all about it. I will say, this is the first one I've done where I didn't have my earphones on, which was a stupid move, because then I would have realised I was like so silent. So I've lifted it up a bit in post, as we say in the industry. But if while Linus is talking, you can just hear someone in the great distance making really annoying, agreeable noises and grunts. That's me, so sorry about that. But anyway, Linus was an actor first, and when he founded Awkward Productions, the first sort of big project was staging an adaptation of Rob Hayes' play, Awkward Conversations with Animals I've Fucked. So I started by asking him what pushed him to then make the move into creating his own shows.
So I've been touring a solo show before, and which I love, and which I thought was like so amazingly written. But I think one of the things, like, obviously we paid like for the rights of it, and we had like always like negotiated with the agents of the writers and stuff, which always is valid. But I kept thinking, being like I can probably write something myself and not have not have to lose the little money I'm earning by paying for rights for it. Right. So it's like, what if I had the ideas and started like working on things, and then Cats the musical was released, and it kind of just took over my mind. Like, it was the only thing I could think about. And I had the thought of like, I could create a show around this. But then I was like, everyone hates that film. No one's going to want to see a show about it. And then my friend Sam, who's the theatre director, was doing like a scratch night. And he had seen like online how obsessed I was with Cats. It's like, I'd like you to do something like about the film for this scratch night. And that's when I was like, oh, people want this. So I just started working on it and writing a comedy show around kind of like a TED Talk from hell, Joseph tends to describe it. How to make your life more jellicle. And then, I had a lot of fun with it. And even though it's a very niche topic, the kind of it works as a comedy show, whether you've seen the film or not. And I'm just
everybody has seen all the memes and all the cultural chat around it. You didn't have to see the actual film.
Exactly.
It's fine.
So it's like, oh great, I can turn my obsession into into profit.
Yeah. And then with Diana, was that next after
Yeah.
this one? I feel like you, for a specific demographic of terminally online people, including myself, I feel like the image of you as Diana is just as iconic, if not more so, than the actual images of that. It's so fun. I think I messaged.
Never more so.
I think I remember I messaged either you or Joseph at the time, but I was just out and about with my family in Leicester once, and I saw someone with the one of your merch tote bags, and I was like, "It's happening! It's happening!" I read an interview where you said, I think you described it as something like it's like a kids show but for adults, which is such a great distillation of like a couple of the shows of yours that I've seen.
Yes, I think very much so. Because like I feel like I also used to do quite a bit of kids theatre, and I sort of love that sort of like fantastical element. And when you incorporate, puppetry, I mean, I love puppetry.
Yeah.
A lot of audience participation, and all of those kind of things. Princesses in beautiful dresses, obviously.
Yeah,
but equally, like I wanna. It's very much not suitable for kids. Like I feel like you want that playfulness, but you want it still to be like very adult in its themes. Well, yeah. So I think that's fun, because I feel like as adults we so rarely get to just like play in that way.
Yeah.
And when we do, it has to be for like if it's kids around, it's for them. Yeah. Where it's like, no, I want to have that playfulness, but I want it to be for us.
So good. It's so that and all Gwyneth, the footprints. There's just so much. They're just so fun and joyful and so clever. How do you like actually do it? Like how much of it is you like sitting with a laptop like, oh, this would be good, and how much is it you and Joseph as well, like up on your feet putting it together, or is it like a mix of the two?
Yeah, I mean, definitely a mix of the two. I think every show has sort of been birthed out of whatever we've been obsessing over.
Yeah.
Like, because it used to be whenever I had a show, I thought like the next show is going to be this thing, but it so rarely worked out that way, because then something else happened, or Gwyneth Paltrow had a ski trial, and we're just like, oh, that would be fun. So it's sort of been like whatever we've been obsessed with in pop culture or otherwise, like we've wanted to make something about, and then you sort of like work from there, I guess. Yeah, and just have fun. I feel like whatever's fun and golden, and then you obviously write a lot, but then as soon as you start putting it on its feet and also getting like other collaborators involved, new doors just open, and you like people come with ideas, or they design things in a way, or have music in a way where like, oh, I never thought of this, but that works so well, and then I can add this, and like it's just, I love the sort of like creative process of that.
Speaking of the music, you've had like people like Leland, which is just amazing, like contribute the music to shows in the past, and the music's played such an exciting role. Like, oh my god, Bab from the Footprints, what a moment. How has that process been of getting the music involved? Has that been like sending collaborators like a script, or has it been like a dialogue of like, this is the kind of thing we want, and then like working around to like how have you worked in the music?
I mean, I think I remember when I was, because obviously the Jellicle show was about the film Cats, so it was natural to have like some music in it. Right. And then when I was writing the Diana show, I remember just like halfway through the script where I was just like, oh, now there's a musical number happening. Like I just like, oh, this is what's happening. At that point I was like, I don't really know how, and I'm not a singer or a dancer, so I don't know how we're gonna do this, but like this, like I wrote a couple of musical numbers into it. I'm like, it just has to happen.
Right.
And for that, our friend Wes, who's also a brilliant composer, I sort of like gave him some references and be like, oh, I want this kind of like pop feel and this kind of like 80s vibe, and like he just came back with some like absolute bangers, which was like incredible. And then Leland saw a Diana show at Edinburgh Fringe, and was like, he was super lovely. We chatted to him, we had dinner with him after, and he said this thing where it's like, if you ever need a song for one of your shows or anything like that, let me know. And I'm like, does he actually mean this, or is this, like, is this just like him being nice? Right. So we reached out when we started working on the Gwyneth show, and we're like, you said this thing, would you maybe be interested in like working with us on like a closing number for the show? And he's like, oh, I think you need more than one song. Ended up writing like, he wrote like 4 songs for it in the end, and they are like so good, and also like really elevates it, and which is just so fun. And I love a good musical number. I always describe our shows as some people, like a lot of people, especially Gwyneth, a lot of people call them musicals, and then like there were some reviews, but like this is not enough songs for being a musical. And I was like, we've never called it a musical. I feel like that plays with music, be like all the press, because I guess it's easier. Like, they will just label our shows as musicals, even though they are not, because like they'll have like 2-3 musical numbers in them, but then like which is fun, but like not enough to actually be a musical. Because I often feel, maybe this is controversial, and I know obviously you've created like an incredible musical as well, but many musicals, I don't like musicals where are sung all the way through, and I don't want to have. I feel like you want, when a musical number happens, you need it to be like its own unique big thing, rather than just like being followed by another musical number, by another, by another. So I feel like I want musical numbers, but not exclusively.
yeah. They just all work so well. I remember seeing that Gwyneth show for the first time towards Christmas, and I was just like, just the way it all comes together is so good. When you've got this yourself into this amazing position now, you've got so many amazing beloved shows that are on the go at once, and they keep coming back. When a show comes back for another run, do you ever get tempted to like pick it apart a bit and make changes and stuff, or are you pretty much like, no, that's that, we're moving on to the next thing?
And I feel like we always see our shows as like living, breathing things.
Yeah.
And we always, which, I mean, sometimes I almost like get annoyed because I'm like, because I am the writer alongside with Joseph, like, and directors and producers, like we can make the decision to keep changing things. Like I almost miss when I was like, an actor in a project to me, like, these are my lines, I'm going to learn them and find reasons for them. Whereas now it's like, oh, if I have an idea, I can just keep changing things all the time, which is fun, but also like, but obviously adds work. But I feel like whenever we bring a show back, we obviously want it to feel the best it can. So like, we'll always have like some suggestions. I feel like with Diana, whenever we brought Diana back, it's always been like, okay, what new like Diana iconic look can we squeeze in this show at some point? Or like, what I feel like, especially for someone like Diana, there's always, even though she's been dead for over 25 years, there's always things happening in around her world. So whether that is like a new like a new series of The Crown, or Harry releasing a book, or Charles and Camilla doing something, I feel like there's always something within her world that sort of like makes her current and topical again. So I feel like we can always like respond to that with the show as well, which is quite fun. And you also I feel like you want to make sure that people who do come back get something new as well.
Right.
And it's more fun for us to make sure like, oh, let's add some little tweaks to it.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. You touched on there the fact that you are just such a machine and that you do everything. And you're so like, you and Joseph are both so like generous with your time. Also, like after shows, you're out in foyers meeting people. You're so like, you're promoting things constantly. Do you enjoy that, being like doing that whole package? I imagine it must be a lot of work, but it must be very rewarding as well, I imagine, to just, it's your like empire.
Empire, that's a nice one. I mean, there are bits with it. Like I always love, it's always nice to meet people after and things like that. Like I feel like, because I feel like our shows are so interactive, and we rely and actually ask a lot of our audience as well. Like they have to get involved in our show and get up on stage and deliver for the shows to work, and they always do. So I feel like it's always fun to actually like speak to them and that kind of thing. I think the constant promotion and promoting things not always fun, obviously. That can become work a lot of the time. And I feel like it's also, there are times where I'm like, I feel like we are like currently doing multiple shows at the same time and promoting so many things. It's hard to know what works. It's always like, I feel like sometimes I kind of wish like, okay, I just wish I could go quiet on like social media for 2 months, and then when we announce something, it's easier to cut through, rather than be like, now we're doing Diana here, and we're doing Footprints here, and we're doing a new show, and we're also going back to this place with this. I feel like it can then, like, it drowns, like the constant announcing things kind of like drowns each other out sometimes.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Well, I guess you also have that joy of that like cumulative thing. Like people are just like, you're picking up fans all the time, and people are like, what are you doing next? It's amazing. Which is so exciting. So you've got this new show coming up. I understand it's still going to have like quite a big element of like humor and fun to it, but it feels like you're starting from a much more personal place this time. How has the creative process been for you this time around, when you are starting from a more personal sort of starting point?
Yes, it's been difficult. Like it's been like, yeah, it's been so different to the other ones and such a big challenge. And I thought somehow, because it was autobiographical, that it would be easier to write because, like, it's just, about me to a larger extent than any of our other shows. But then, I mean, yeah, for context, the show is about a hate crime that happened to me 2 years ago in Soho when I was attacked and like hit in the head with an umbrella. And, the man shouted he would have killed me and stuff. And Joseph went after the man and actually tackled him, held him on the ground until the police arrived. Amazing. So the show then talks about sort of like, obviously that specific experience and like what it's like to experience a hate crime and things around hate crimes, as well as this sort of Met Police investigation and the sort of legal process that followed. And it never went to trial ultimately. And on stage, we then instead play out a version of the trial that never happened.
Right.
So obviously it deals with like a lot of more like serious topics than some of our shows. But as you say, like I've made sure to like still have fun with it because I feel like, especially at somewhere like Edinburgh Fringe, I feel like you sometimes see shows, especially solo shows, where you think sure, you've written a show but it feels more like this is therapy rather than an actual like thing that people should pay to see. And I was very keen on making sure that because I was so unsure for a long time whether what I was writing would actually be a show, whether this was just something I needed to write for myself. And then as I started showing it to Joseph and other people, they were like, oh, this should be your next show. But I've been so scared like all throughout the spring. I was like, I remember the day before we announced that it was going to Edinburgh, I was like, maybe we should just call Underbelly now and say that we're pulling it and we're not doing it and we'll just give them like a Diana instead. Like I feel like that will be easier. Like it's just, I feel like it just feels very personal and scary, and I'm like, I don't know if I have it, but I feel like in the last couple of months or so, I'm very happy with where the show is going, and I feel proud, and I feel like it's definitely the script that I've worked the hardest on, that has the most amount of research into it, and that's also I've never written so much like this, but and cut so many things out. Like I've written pages and pages and like had so many different ideas that never will make it into the script. But I feel like, I'm excited. I've also worked with Hayley McGee, who is an amazing writer and performer. She did a show called Age is a Feeling, which is kind of like quite possibly the best thing I've ever seen. Nice. And I knew a little bit beforehand as well. So as I was writing this, I was like reaching out to her and be like, because I was like, if there's one person I want to work with this on, it's definitely her. And she's come on board as a dramaturg. And I feel like that's also really elevated the project and made such a big difference. So scared but excited. And I know I can blame her if people don't like it.
Amazing. Chatting to like different writers who've done different things. A common thread that seems to be bringing everybody together is, oh my God, aren't dramaturgs amazing?
Yeah, no, but absolutely. And I think it's also, she is, I mean, she's such an amazing writer, and I think she also in her work, I feel like she's so good at striking the tone of like I've seen her shows many times. I've seen Age is a Feeling, I think 3 or 4 times, and I've like cried my eyes out every time, whilst also like laughing at times. I feel like she's so good at like creating something that is both the really like powerful and heartfelt, but doesn't feel like too heavy or dark, still like entertaining and funny. So I feel like that has been really useful to like work with her on that. I mean, she's just such a great writer. She is just like her vocabulary, her everything. And then I think because it's a personal story, I think there are times where it's like, if I'm writing a show about, I don't know, Diana or Gwyneth Paltrow or, a fictional character, I'm so happy to sort of like, showcase their sides and go into like details about what happened. But in this one, I feel like there have been times where I've sort of like originally stopped myself. I didn't deem things as like interesting because it's about me, whereas she'd been more like, oh no, you need to dig into this or like go into detail here. And I think that's been very useful to hear and challenge myself to like even at stuff from myself that feels uncomfortable or feels that I don't necessarily want to like put on stage or show people. Put that into the show as well.
Oh gosh, amazing. I know you're still obviously a few weeks away from sort of going to Edinburgh. I know you're doing a bit at the park as well, which is so exciting. But just from the creative process with it so far, it sounds so like enriching and rewarding. Do you see yourself wanting to write more kind of, not necessarily from your own autobiographical perspective, but write more stuff that is a bit more exploring sort of this more sort of I don't want to say serious, that's not what I mean, but do you know what I mean, like doing more of this kind of writing? Do you see yourself wanting to do more of that, or is it too soon to say?
No, but I think I also want to do everything. I think I really like, I don't, and I feel like I don't want to be, I mean, part of doing this show as well is probably like I don't want to feel like I'm just doing the same thing over and over. I mean, I do feel like all our shows are different and have sort of like grown and done different things. I don't think I would have been able to write this show now had I not written like all of them before. But I feel like it's also, I want to make sure I don't get like pigeonholed as something, and I do something that's actually like, and to sound wanky, but like I do feel like this show is like, the artistically most interesting step I can take right now, and actually create something that's so different. And so I mean, I'd love to keep on like writing all kinds of things, and pay me to do it and I'll do it.
Including a song through musical. No, I'm joking.
I'd happily do. I'll write the lyrics. I can't write the music, but
that's my, like, people are always like, what do you want to do next? I'm like, what are you paying me to do? I'll do anything. Like, just whatever. I'll do anything.
That's the thing, is like I want to write, and obviously things I want to write, but ultimately it's like I also just, if someone paid me, I would be very excited to write a lot of different things.
In terms of the Fringe specifically, you guys seem like you've got such a special relationship with that place. I've only ever taken stuff there for like 2 weeks max, and that was like, I think that was like over 10 years ago now. Do you still love the Fringe a lot, or is it, or I should say, is it just like a necessity of like that's the best place to go? Like, I don't know, what's your relationship like with the Fringe?
No, I do actually love it. I do feel like there is nothing like it. Like, it's so obvious, like it has so many flaws as well. Like, everything is so expensive and it is so difficult, and you work yourself to death. Like, I always come back home like after August, and I have to spend a few weeks exactly. I can't do anything. Like, I remember it was a couple of years ago, I went to, like, I woke up every day for 2 weeks, and I felt like today is not the day. Tomorrow I'll get my life together. And every day for 2 weeks, I would just go to the corner shop, buy the same frozen pizza, Dr. Oetker, and the same chocolate bar every day for 2 weeks. And it was like, every day I was like, I can't do this again, but okay, tomorrow I'll start over. And then eventually after 2 weeks, I went to the corner shop and they'd run out of both. And I was like, okay, now that's the sign. Like, I now can't continue this life. So I do, like, it does really exhaust you, but it is also magical. There is nothing like it. And you're surrounded by sort of like art and creativity, and like from people all over the world. And you get the chance to, meet and perform for so many types of people. I just wish, it's always like, I just wish I had endless energy there, because I always feel like I don't see enough shows. And obviously you sort of like need to stay healthy and need to be able to do a show, because we always tend to perform 2 shows, not for the full run, but like at least for like the final half or the final week, do multiple shows as well. And that becomes like quite difficult after a month.
I need to lie down thinking about it.
But as long as it's also like, as long as it sells, I feel like you can kind of do anything, because there's so many times where I'm like, I don't know if I can do this show. And if you hear a busy, excited audience, you're like, okay, I've got the energy now. Like, you can go from nothing to just be like, okay, I do love this. So I just like, I feel like the scary thing with this one is because it's such a different one. I really hope it has its audience, or like the audience we have built will come back for like, something that is not just going to be like, me in a blonde wig running around on stage.
Right. Oh, amazing. Oh no, it's so exciting. You're just finally as well, your shows have played all over the world. You've been to some incredibly exciting places. Do you notice differences where you go, like in terms of like, London's got this type of audience, this place over here's got a different type of audience, or is it just like, the queer chaos is queer chaos everywhere? Like, have you noticed much difference?
It is it's definitely different, which is really fun and exciting. And I feel like generally, like, for our audiences, people do step up, and they are like, I remember, like, we went to Sweden last year, which was because I was like, which is where I'm from, and I was so anxious beforehand, because I like, Swedes are quiet and reserved, and was like, first of all, like, I'm gonna have people I haven't seen in like 10 years come to see my shows, and also like, will all the Swedes just be quiet and not really get involved? But it was actually like, they were great, so that was really fun. And like, I feel like the shows also land a bit different. Like, Gwyneth, the response to like the Gwyneth show was so different in the US, because I feel like they, like, obviously she is American, and I feel like we have so many sort of like Hollywood and movie references in that show, and we performed that show in LA, and the audience there just picked up on like every little niche detail that kind of like can quite often get overlooked in certain places, and that was really like fun and exciting to see.
Oh wow!
And then there's also like like I feel like it's just language. Sometimes we have to like in Diana. There's sometimes we're like, oh, we might have to. The word nonce in particular, I realize is not universal.
I would never have known.
No,
did you learn?
Yeah, because there's been times where like we've done that in like Australia or New York, and it's like, oh no, we have to remember that we can't. We have like there's certain like or meme references that we have to like update depending on the country we're in.
Right. Oh my god, that's so funny. I realized I just said finally before that question, but I was lying because there's one I've been asking everybody just to finish. What is the last thing you watched as an audience member that you were like, God damn, that's good stuff?
Oh god, on stage or
anywhere, like TV, film, stage.
The last thing I saw on stage was Eat the Rich, but maybe not My Mates. Is that what the actual full title is? At the theatre. Which is brilliant.
Yeah.
Like so well constructed, so well performed as well. And our friend Lauren, who we've worked with a lot, is the stage manager on that show as well. So that's
great.
Like that was really that was really enjoyable. It was also so interesting to see solo shows.
I bet.
I feel like especially as I've been like creating this show. I mean, I've obviously seen and performed solo shows before, but like I've been like now I really want to like look at solo shows and read. I've read a lot of scripts just to be like, I want to see how other people tell stories about like serious topics or
Oh, well, have the best time. I'm so excited for you. Like every time you start a new show, but this one in particular just feels like a really special like adventure you're about to go on. So how long have you got? You got like a month or so? Is that right? You're doing the park for?
My God, it's a month away. I also like. I feel like I'm kind of just finishing the script. Like it's pretty much there, but now I'm like, I also have to learn all those words, and I've realized there's a lot more words. Because it's not like in Diana when like I get videos and audience to sort of like speak half dialogue. Now I'm like, oh no, it's mainly just me having to learn a lot of words, and it's I'm just looking at like it's a month away. It's 23rd to 25th in London, and then Edinburgh Fringe in August.
Right. Oh god, you're gonna have the best time. Well, all the best, and thank you so much for doing this as well. I know you've got so much to do, and you've made.
No, thank you, Shaun. It's great to talk to you.
But I'll speak to you soon. Thank you so much. Linus Karp Was Hit With An Umbrella is on in Edinburgh at Underbelly Bristow Square at 8:20 p.m. throughout the Fringe. It's also on at the Park Theatre in London for preview shows from Thursday 23rd to Saturday 25th of July. Diana the Untold and Untrue Story is also in the ether. It's at the Arcola Theatre this week. If you're listening to this episode, box fresh. It's there till the 11th of July, and that will be in Edinburgh as well from August the 24th to the 30th. Also at Underbelly at 10 p.m. Again, Linus and Joseph are just like, they are machines. Thank you so much, Linus, for chatting on here. I'll just finish with my usual like recommendations then if anyone is remotely interested. I've started watching 2 Weeks in August, which is this BBC drama that came out. It's a few weeks old now, but I'm just getting around to it. It's like one of those like social thriller buzzy holiday beach reads, but on telly. That's the best way I can think to describe it. It's about this group of friends that go on holiday together, and they kind of like, they've known each other ages. They kind of resent each other a bit now. Their lives have all started to like splinter off in different ways. And on this holiday where they're kind of cramped together in this beautiful but actually quite shoddy villa, I think those resentments are going to bubble to the top. I think they're going to bubble up. And at the end of the first episode, one of the characters does or two of the characters rather, do a shock thing, which is going to have some ramifications, I'm sure. So that's on iPlayer. It's written by Catherine Shepherd. I also want to shout out the musical Hot Mess, which I saw at the Other Palace last week, written by Ellie Coote and Jack Godfrey. It's on there till September. It's like a two-hander musical that imagines the relationship between humanity and Earth as a rom-com, and it's just a really smart concept, and the songs are bangers, and the cast are great, and it's really funny, and it's just over an hour straight through, which is the dream. So yeah, that's on, as I said, till September. Thanks so much for listening to another episode of Writing the Thing. I'll see you next time with another fantastic writer.